Hello again, welcome back. What I want to continue with is Mathematics GCSE Key Stage 4, okay? Now you'll see that I've got the GCSE folder already in place, so please feel free to use that and look at the information in that as well. But what I'm trying to do now is to look at percentages, okay? Alright, and again we're looking here at Mathematics GCSE Key Stage 4, okay? Now again here what I want to look at is contents, percentages, changing fractions into decimals or percentages, changing percentages into fractions or decimals, percentage of an amount, percentage increase and decrease, value added tax, which is VAT, percentage profit, loss and errors. Okay, that's what I want to look at this point in time. Now I will try and do this in 3 or 4 sessions, basically to make sure that we can comprehend what we're trying to do and understand it. Now remember, you have to write out some of this work yourselves. You have to do the calculations for yourselves. You have to look at the mathematical functions that is employed so that you understand the concepts behind and how they have arrived at the given solutions. Okay, that is important for you to understand that. Okay. So what we're looking at first, we're looking at this first, okay? Percentages. Okay. And what we want to do is to make sure that we can see it clearly and that I make it large enough that it is comprehensible. Let me just go in a little bit more and make it a little bit bigger, okay? Bear with me for a second. Yes, I think, yes, I can see it on my screen, so that looks good. Okay. Percentages, okay? Means per 100. Okay? It simply means per 100. So, for instance, 70% means 17 over 100. Okay? Now, if you can take that as a fraction, or you can take it as a decimal. So what would it be as a decimal? Okay? So as a decimal, it would come out as 0.17. Now let me just make sure that I can look at this. So we're taking this here. This will then look. We're looking at this here. Okay. What is it as a decimal? It will be equal to 0.17. Okay. And that is it as a decimal. Now what it then goes on to say is it looks at it further still. In other words, percentages are fractions, okay? So as I said earlier, you can look at this as a fraction, which have a denominator of 100. Now that is your denominator, that is your numerator. Denominator, numerator, okay? They are often used to compare different fractions. And here we're going to look at changing fractions and decimal into percentages. Okay. To change a fraction or a decimal into a percentage, we multiply by 100. Work example. So change the following fractions into percentages. 7/8, okay? 0.036, and here we have, here we're going to look at our solution. So for A, we're looking at this solution first, okay? This one first. Now, 7/8 times 100. Now bear in mind here what actually happened here is that he's timesing that, these two together, okay? That together. That gives you this 700 here, okay? So that comes from here, and that goes, that is now that, okay? The 8 remains constant, okay? But what he's then done here, he's simply divided so we simplify as much as possible, and he simplified it down to 175. Now, how did he get 175? That would be my first question, basically, okay? How did he get 175? So what he had to do here, he's taken that, and let's take this over. I'm going to work a little bit wider, so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to bring this over here, so just to give me some workspace, okay? So we're going to take 700, put it over 8. Sorry. It's 8 over 8. Okay, let me get that back with me. Okay. Put it over 8, okay? Equals. Now if I divide that by 4, if I divide both the bottom and the top by 4, so if I divide that by 4, and I divide that by 4, that's going to equal to 175 over 4 into 8 goes twice, goes over 2, which is exactly what we have here, okay? Which is now this, which is, let me just change my colors. Moment, give me blue, okay? And okay, and this is now this, okay? Okay, that is now that, okay? Right. So we got 275 divided by 175 divided by 2, and that is equal to, as a percentage, equals 87. Can I get this on here? Yeah. Let me just move on a little bit. Equals 87.5%. Okay. And that's what we would be looking at and how to apply that process. Okay. Now this number, how do I get 4? Now you have to remember that you're looking for a number that will go into divide equally into the top and bottom. So I could have started off with 2. Okay, so 2 into 8 will go 4 times, etc, etc. Okay, so it's a matter of finding a number that will divide equally into the top and bottom, and you have to choose that number yourself. Go back to your timetables and always look at that as a point of reference, because that is where this mathematical process will come into its own, that you can apply your timetables to this process, and you will find a number that will go into here, both top and bottom, denominator, numerator. Okay, denominator, numerator. Okay, let's look at this one now. 0.03 is equal. So as you take that there now, and you take equals 3.6, yeah. So let's look at multiplying this process out actually in real terms. So we're going to multiply 100. Let me just see if it works as I think it should work, times 0.036. Well, you're not going to multiply by 0, but we know that we have 1, 2, 3 decimal places to move it. So we could multiply this, we simply multiply that by 100 by 36. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 1 is 616. Okay. Now 3 times 0 is, good question, 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0, and 3 1 is 3. Okay, now we have 0 here, 0 and 0 is 0, 0 and 0 is 0, 0 and 6 is 6, and 3. Now we need to move a decimal point, ouch, sorry, my hand's just falling asleep here a second. We need to move a decimal point 1 to 3 places back. So 1, 2, 3, and that is my decimal point here, which my decimal point goes here. Therefore, we can see that it's 3.6 equals to 3.6%. Okay. Okay. Let's make sure that we've recapped that clearly again. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. So you can see that although it's been done here, I'm actually going through the decimal process of showing you how that would be. So you can actually ignore these two zeros here. But remember that the decimal point matters because you have to 1, 2, 3 decimal places to move back once you have done your multiplications. So you can ignore the notes. Okay. And here we're going to look at changing percentages into fractions. Okay. Changing percentages into fractions or decimals. Okay. To change a percentage into a fraction or decimal, we divide by 100 because it's actually in a fractional state anyway already. And here's the one that we're going to look at here, this one first, okay? And here's our solution. We can put this as 33 and a third or 33.33 reoccurring, okay? Now, you're trying to bring this to the same value, okay? So what they've done here is 33 and a third times 3. They've taken the denominator because what they need to do is to bring the 33 on its own, basically. So here 100 times 3 and 100 over 3 times 3. Now, if you look at this carefully, you'll see that this and this will cancel out. That's the first thing that comes to my head, okay? And you then need to still retain in the 3 because you're trying to get rid of the fractional part of the third. 100 times 3. So all this is over 100 times 3. That cancels out. We know that and that will cancel out. But we still need to retain it because we need to bring this value up. 3 times 100 gives us 300. That and that cancels out. Okay, it leaves us 100 here. Okay, so that this part here is now this part. Okay. That here becomes this. Okay. And we then, it's just a simple matter of you could just cancel off these zeros here. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. And that gives us our answer here. Okay. And that would be correct. Sorry, let me just rub that out a bit. Get my pen back. And that would be your procedure. Okay, and that would be your 1/3. That's converting that to a fraction. Okay. And here we have 50.5 converted into, and we're looking at to bring it into a fraction, and we're looking at this part into a decimal. Okay, and you simply divide 50.5 by 100, and that process is quite simple enough for you to do, but I realize some people is not very articulate. So let me do it the hard way, okay? And all I'm doing is looking at it from a different perspective, different angle, okay? So 50.5. Now remember, it says a 0.5, but I'm just going to excuse me. Just going to ignore the 0.5 for now, okay? Divided by 100, okay? Now 105 you can't go. One 105 cannot go, okay? So 0 goes there. Decimal point 0. One hundred into decimal point. 100 into 50. Well, I said 150 won't go. I said 100 into 5 will not go, but that's just, I was looking at it from a simplified version. But it is 100 into 50 won't go, not decimal point. Okay. Now, ignoring the decimal point that's here, 100 into 505 will go 5 times. Okay. That will go 5 times. Now what's left over? 5. One 105 won't go. 0. And you have to add a 0 here as well. $150 will not go, and that becomes 500. And 100 into 500 goes 5 times. Now I recognize that you can do this faster yourself, but remember, I'm just trying to give you an illustration as to how the process here would work. Okay? So be sure that you understand the concepts behind it. And that answer there would be correct. Okay? Right? And we know that is also correct. Okay? Okay. Special results. Okay, let's see. What is 100% as a fraction? it'll be 1 over 1, isn't it? So it's just going to be 1. So it'll just be that. Okay. A score of 100% in an examination means that the student gained full marks. Okay. Some percentages are used often, so you will find it helpful if you can memorize the following. 4% equals 1/25. 5% equals 1/20. 10% equals 1 over 1/10. 20% equals 1/5. 25% is a quarter. 25% equals 1/3. 50% equals a half. 100% equals 1. Okay. And here we're looking at percentages of an amount. Okay. And here we have the work example. Now I'm going to stop here for now. Okay. So I'm going to look at that's where we'll pick it up from next time round. Okay. Percentage of an amount. Pick it up from this point. Okay. But let me just go back and make sure that I've got everything in view that we covered for this morning. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. And we've covered that, so yes, thank you. Okay. And we will continue from percentage of an amount. Okay. Okay, thank you for your time. Have a good day, and speak with you soon. Bye bye.